What's up, Lakers Nation? How's everybody doing out there? Today we got to talk about the incredible run Austin Reaves has been on lately, because this man has been absolutely sensational. He's not just having a good stretch, he's been performing like a legitimate MVP candidate. That's right, MVP-level basketball from a guy that many people once saw as just a role player. The confidence, the control, the leadership, it's all coming together in a way that's forcing the entire league to take notice. But let's be honest, as amazing as it's been, maintaining that level once LeBron and Luka Doncic are back in the lineup is going to be the real challenge. Not because Reaves isn't capable, but because the rotation and responsibilities will naturally shift. Still, one thing's for sure. Austin Reaves has proven that he belongs in the conversation among the best guards in the NBA, and right now, there's no doubt he's earned his spot as an all-star. Think about what's happened over these last few games. The Lakers have been missing their top stars, and yet they've managed to pull off some huge wins, largely thanks to Reaves stepping up. Winning 2 out of 3 games without LeBron and Luka isn't easy, but Reaves has taken that challenge head-on. His performance against the Minnesota Timberwolves was something special. Sure, he didn't shoot particularly well that night, but that's what separates good players from great ones. Even when his shots aren't falling, he still finds ways to dominate the game. He controlled the tempo, made the right reads, locked in defensively, and hit the game winner that sealed it for the Lakers. 16 assists, strong defense, constant movement. He was dictating every possession like a true floor general. When a player can impact the game in so many ways beyond just scoring, that's when you know he's evolving into something more than just a scorer. That's been the most impressive part of this run. We've always known Austin could score the basketball. He's shown that ever since he joined the Lakers. Remember when LeBron went down a couple seasons back? Reaves was the guy who stepped up, took on the responsibility, and helped carry the team to the conference finals. His scoring has never been in question. But what's happening now is different. It's about his decision-making, his poise, his ability to read defenses, and control the flow of the game. Those are the things that turn a talented player into a superstar. Because when you look at guys like LeBron, Luka, or even a player like Chris Paul, what makes them so special isn't just how many points they put up, it's how they manage games, how they influence every single possession, how they can still dominate even on off nights. And that's exactly what we're starting to see from Austin Reaves. Against Minnesota, he didn't have his best shooting night, but he still dictated everything. That's the mark of a great player. When you can't get your shot to fall, but you're still out there creating opportunities for others, making plays on both ends, and hitting clutch shots when it matters most, that's when you know you're at another level. If his shots had been dropping, the Lakers probably would have won that game by 40 points. But even without that, he kept them in control the entire time. His vision was sharp, his passing was elite, and his leadership was clear. It's no coincidence that even without LeBron or Luka, the Lakers still looked organized, confident, and capable because Reaves was running the show. The thing about Austin's recent performances is that it's not just about big scoring nights anymore. Sure, he's had games where he's dropped huge numbers, but when you look deeper, it's the total impact that stands out. The rebounds, the assists, the defense, the way he dictates pace, he's been doing it all. That's the kind of maturity and balance that championship teams need from their guards. Even when the Lakers blew that 20-point lead against Minnesota, context matters. They've been playing shorthanded with only 5 or 6 active healthy players. Reaves himself has been averaging around 40 minutes a night, playing on back-to-backs, running the offense, defending, doing everything. Of course, guys are going to get tired. That's just the reality of the NBA grind. But what's impressive is that even through fatigue, Reaves continues to find ways to contribute and keep the Lakers competitive. What makes this stretch even more exciting is how complete his game looks right now. He's scoring, creating, defending, and showing the kind of confidence that great players have when they're in rhythm. Over the last few weeks, we've seen him put up monster numbers, like that stretch where he totaled 92 points in just 2 games, and then followed that up with another brilliant performance capped off by a game-winning shot and 16 assists. That's not just a hot streak. That's a player understanding how to control a game from every angle. Reaves isn't just reacting to what's happening on the court. He's creating it. He's manipulating defenses, forcing switches, exploiting mismatches, and making the right reads. That's what true playmakers do. And that's the difference between being a guy who can make a play and being a real playmaker. There are plenty of players around the league who can rack up 5 or 6 assists just by moving the ball when someone's open or lobbing it to a teammate cutting to the basket. But playmakers, the real ones, they see the game 2 steps ahead. They create the openings before they even exist. They anticipate how defenses will react and exploit that in real time. That's what we've seen from players like Luka, LeBron, and Chris Paul for years, and now Reaves is showing glimpses of that same skill set. He's reading defenses with confidence, adapting to every coverage, and finding ways to keep the Lakers' offense flowing even when his own shot isn't falling. You can see the growth year after year. Sure, his scoring numbers have gone up, but that's not what makes this version of Austin Reaves so special. It's the development in every other area, the decision-making, the defensive awareness, the playmaking ability. Early in his career, when his shot wasn't falling, he could fade out of games a bit. That's normal for young players. But now, he's found a way to stay impactful no matter what. Even if he's tired, even if the defense is keyed in on him, he's learned how to shift gears, to move from scorer to facilitator, to let the game come to him. That's what makes him so valuable right now. He's not a liability when things aren't going his way. He's a weapon that can adapt to whatever the team needs. Defensively, he's holding his own, too. Nobody expects him to be an elite defender like a Jared Vanderbilt, but he doesn't have to be. He just has to compete, stay solid, and not be a weak link. And he's done exactly that. Combine that with his ability to manage the offense, and you've got a player who's proving he can carry a team when needed and blend seamlessly when the stars return. That versatility is huge for a team like the Lakers, who have championship aspirations. Because let's be real, when you have guys like LeBron and Luka leading the way, you need players who can adjust on the fly, who can step up when called upon, but also complement the stars when they're back. Reaves is showing he can be that guy. The chemistry between him and Luka is especially intriguing. There's been a lot of talk about whether they can coexist at a high level, but the more we see, the clearer it becomes that they actually complement each other well. Reaves can operate as a secondary creator, running the offense when Luka sits, or spacing the floor and attacking closeouts when Luka's in control. That's exactly what championship-level duos do. They make each other's jobs easier. Luka's got the elite vision and command, but when Reaves comes in, there's no drop-off. He can keep the rhythm, keep the ball moving, and keep pressure on the defense. That's why some fans have started calling him Luka Light, because when Luka sits, the Lakers don't skip a beat. If they can keep developing that connection, and if Reaves continues to sharpen his off-ball shooting and movement, there's no reason these two can't be the foundation for something special. You can easily see a future where this partnership blossoms into a duo capable of leading the Lakers deep into the playoffs and maybe even competing for multiple championships. That's the level of potential we're talking about right now. And all of this growth, all of this confidence, it's coming because Reaves was forced into the spotlight while LeBron and Luka have been out. It's tested him, pushed him, and made him find consistency early in the season, something that's been an issue for him in the past. In previous years, Reaves started slow. He'd have stretches where he struggled, got benched, or couldn't find his rhythm. Shooting under 30% from 3, hovering below 40% from the field, he had rough patches. But this time, being thrust into a leading role right out of the gate has forced him to lock in and stay ready. It's allowed him to build rhythm, build confidence, and establish a tempo early on. That's the kind of foundation that can carry him through the season. Because when the stars return and rotations get tighter, Reaves will already be in rhythm, already be confident, already be that guy the team can rely on to make smart decisions and big plays. And that, more than anything, might be the biggest win of all for the Lakers moving forward. When you look at the bigger picture, it's clear that this stretch without LeBron and Luka might be one of the best things that could have happened for Austin Reaves and the Lakers as a whole. It's given him the freedom to experiment, to make mistakes, to carry the team through adversity, and to grow into a more complete player. These moments matter because they build trust, not just from the coaching staff, but from his teammates too. Everyone in that locker room now knows that when the game's on the line, Reaves can take control, make the right decisions, and deliver. That's not something you can teach overnight. That comes from experience, from being thrown into the fire and figuring it out under pressure. And that's exactly what Reaves has done. He's gone from being a role player who filled in when needed to being the guy who dictates the pace of the game, who teammates look to for direction. That kind of transformation doesn't happen by accident. It's the product of confidence, preparation, and sheer basketball IQ. You can see it in the way he approaches each possession. Calm, composed, reading the defense before they even move. When you watch him play now, you can tell that he's thinking 2 steps ahead. He's manipulating pick and rolls, drawing defenders out of position, and creating open looks for his teammates in ways that remind you of seasoned veterans. But what stands out the most is how natural it all seems for him. There's no panic in his game, no hesitation. He's learned to stay within himself, to trust his instincts. That's a massive leap for any young player, especially one trying to find his place next to 2 generational talents like LeBron James and Luka Doncic. For a lot of players, sharing the floor with stars of that caliber can be intimidating. You're constantly balancing when to attack, when to defer, when to take control. But Reaves is figuring it out. He's learning that his role isn't to disappear next to those guys, but to complement them. He's proving that he can elevate their game by doing all the little things that don't always show up on the box score. And it's not just about the offense. Defensively, he's showing grit, effort, and awareness. He's not locking down opponents every possession, but he's making the right rotations, he's contesting shots, he's fighting through screens, he's engaged. That's all you need from him on that end. Because when you combine that level of effort with the offensive impact he's bringing, you've got a player who can stay on the court in any situation. And that's crucial for a team like the Lakers that often finds itself in tight playoff battles where every possession counts. It's interesting because Reaves' growth feels a lot like the rise of players we've seen in the past who start as underdogs and slowly carve out a place among the league's elite. There's that chip on his shoulder, that hunger to prove himself night after night. He's not coasting on talent. He's outworking people. Every possession, every loose ball, every hustle play, you see that drive. It's the same mentality that helped him go from an undrafted player to a key piece on one of the most iconic franchises in sports. And that kind of mentality spreads through a team. When younger players see that level of effort from a guy like Reaves, it sets the tone. It creates a culture where accountability and effort become non-negotiable. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, in a twist that has the entire basketball world buzzing, whispers are spreading like wildfire. Jayson Tatum, the face of the Boston Celtics and one of the NBA's brightest stars, has reportedly signed with none other than the Los Angeles Lakers. Yes, those Lakers, Boston's historic and bitter rival. What began as a faint rumor early this morning has turned into the most talked-about story of the offseason, sending shockwaves through both fan bases and leaving Celtics supporters in disbelief. Sources close to the situation suggest that Tatum's decision was influenced by a mix of contract disagreements, long-standing tensions with the Celtics front office, and perhaps an allure that only Los Angeles can offer. The Lakers, eager to rebuild around a new superstar core as LeBron James nears the twilight of his career, have apparently pulled off the unthinkable. Reports indicate that Tatum's deal is massive, both in value and in symbolism, a betrayal that could redefine the NBA's greatest rivalry for the next decade. In Boston, the reaction has been pure outrage. Social media exploded within minutes of the first leak, with fans flooding Tatum's pages with heartbreak emojis, disbelief, and accusations of treachery. How could he? One fan wrote. We raised him, defended him, believed he'd bring Banner 18 home. Local sports radio hosts were nearly speechless, calling it a betrayal on the scale of Johnny Damon's switch to the Yankees, but worse. Meanwhile, Lakers fans are celebrating what they see as a coup of historic proportions. Purple and gold memes have flooded timelines, and some are already calling Tatum the heir to Kobe Bryant's legacy, an idea that, in Boston, borders on blasphemy. Neither Tatum nor his representatives have made an official statement yet, leaving the NBA world hanging in suspense. But if the rumors are true, this could mark one of the most dramatic twists in modern basketball history. A superstar crossing enemy lines, turning cheers into boos, and forever altering the legacy of one of the league's most iconic franchises. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.